Hey, what's up, ladies and germs? I am Maddog with the QMN, and I'm here with my host,
Trusic. This is the first episode we will be doing for QMN. I am Trusic of Soda Records, and here's the news.
So today we're going to be talking about a California bill will be sealed 8 million criminal convictions. And so in San Francisco, a Northern California lawmaker and a attorney announced Thursday a proposal that laws would automatically clear some 8 million criminal convictions eligible for sealing, but they remain public records.
The San Francisco District Attorney George Gaskin, however you say that,
Gaskin.
Gaskin. The state Democratic Assemblyman Phil Ting of San Francisco said the bill passed would help millions of offenders take advantage of an often overlooked law allowing convicted drunken drivers, burglars, and other low-level offenders to seal their records.
That's crazy.
Gaskin
Gaskin.
at the press conference in San Francisco with Ting said fewer than 20% of eligible cases are cleared, that most eligible offenders are unaware that they can seal their criminal records and are living in a paper prison.
What the fuck is a paper prison? Sex offenders and any offender who has served time in prison are eligible for this. The bill introduced in the assembly by Ting would require that the state to automatically clear eligible convictions for offenders who have served their sentence, including probation, and would otherwise stay out of trouble. The bill would also wipe away many records of arrests that ended without criminal convictions. That's interesting. Why the hell would they wipe out the criminal records along with seal it?
And how do they choose what criminals get released and what don't?
It's confusing to me. Gaskin said sealing eligible criminal records will help one-time low-level offenders find jobs, housing, education that may be blocked by their convictions. So Gaskin sounds like he's all about this shit. So I'm thinking, in just reading this article, that it might be somebody that is either helped him get his office or somebody that he might be related to in some aspect.
Yeah, and what that sounds to me like is, with somebody with millions of dollars who could afford, like Cochran or any high level lawyer, could get the free ticket as well. That's what it sounds like. Because how are you going to dispute who is the low level offender and the crimes they committed? Because even if you've embezzled millions of dollars, they always end up getting a fair deal. But now they're saying they're doing it for the low level criminal. Why is it the low level criminal used to get the most time? You get caught with a small bag of crack or whatever, but then now they're giving them a free ticket.
See, and it's interesting that this has happened in California. We're shooting live in Denver, Colorado, and they have actually increased the penalty that you would get for being a drunken driver. But in California, they're considering that a low-level crime. That seems a little jaded or unfair, honestly.
Yeah, well, it sounds to me they're just trying to empty the prisons because they're so overpopulated. That's what it sounds like to me. That's the solution they come up with.
And reading further down this, it says sex offenders and other offenders who have served time in prison are eligible. Now, let me ask you a question. If they're selling the records and they wanted to get a job at, say, Toys R Us or some kind of teaching job, because their records are sealed, they have no right to be able to pull that up and do that, which is weird because you still have to register as a sex offender. How does that work?
Yeah, and how do say anybody who's had a long history of criminal activity, how do they even function in the world when they get released? It just sounds to me they're just giving them a free pass, borrow time until they get caught again, because more prisoners are getting led into prison, free admission, then they're building corporation prisons because that's their goal.
Yeah.
They're trying to build more for the cheap labor. So this is just a temporary solution to buy time. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, and the funky thing about it is, once again, like Trusic was saying, how do they select that specific number, 8 million convicted offenders? Now, I mean, are they doing a raffle? Obviously,
Yeah.
if they have 8 million people incarcerated, they're not just going to let the whole entire prison free.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So how does that even work? You know?
Yeah, it's not 8 million sealed. It's 8 million killed.
That's right.
That's what they're doing.
Exactly.
Waiting in doubles.
Yeah.
Because when you release that many criminals, believe me, they're going to do theirs to get by, and more people are going to die.
And
more shit's going to happen.
And that's kind of one of the biggest stories that we wanted to touch on today. Other than that, there was also a interesting health news thing that I like to do on my show, but also talking about beards being unhealthy. And speaking of criminals,
I think we got a call from an offender.
Oh yeah, hold on.
One.
Hey, welcome back to QNM
News.
And today we're also going to be talking about a article called that we want to call this segment "A Long Trip for Nothing."
Nothing.
Yep, for absolute fucking nothing. Saul Pays, a woman wanted over a Columbine threat, is dead. Saul is a Florida high school student who was wanted in Colorado over threats she made to schools. And today, she was found dead.
Yes. I guess she was obsessed with Columbine. And it's actually the 20th anniversary of the shooting. She made threats, had prompted a massive police hunt in Denver area. The closing of hundreds of schools happened today. Sheriff Jeff Schrader on Jefferson County, Colorado, said the woman identified as Sol Pays, 18 years old, so young, was found dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound this morning.
Before she was found, authorities said that Miss Pays has traveled to Denver, was considered armed and extremely dangerous, leading to the decision to keep about 500,000 students home today, and dozens of schools closed in all over Colorado districts.
The FBI actually sent a tweet saying the following: "We can confirm that Sol Pays is deceased. We are grateful to everyone who submitted tips and to all our law enforcement partners of their efforts in keeping our community safe."
Breaking news tonight, a scare at Columbine as we approach the 20th anniversary of the massacre. The FBI investigating a credible new threat at 20 Colorado schools. Police searching for a woman considered armed and extremely dangerous. We'll have a live report with the latest.
So before I kind of finish on with the article, I just have to point this out. It happened today. They found the student dead today. And they already posted at 11:30 a.m. Today this tweet. And honestly, I don't believe that someone would travel all the way from Miami, Florida to Denver, Colorado, past the city, go up to the mountains, strip herself butt naked, and shoot herself. That is the reason why we call this article "A Long Trip for Nothing." Because to me, it sounds like a cover-up or some kind of conspiracy to make it seem like she just had the extra gas. She was like, fuck it, you know.
Yeah, there's something missing to this story.
Yeah,
because they're saying she was infatuated with the Columbine attacks.
So much
Yeah.
scene right there.
But how could one woman, 18 years old, even if she did try, you know, and obviously she failed, but how could she possibly pull this off? Because if they knew she bought a plane ticket and she arrived here and she had to rent a car, you know, how, you know, there's something missing out of the story, and especially they found her dead. You know, it's only my opinion, but I'm guessing that either they probably did find her and they killed her and they're just covering it up, or something's going on. You know, I don't want you to mark my accusations, but you know, something is missing out of this story. But you know, the main thing is that everybody's safe and nothing did happen. So
yeah, thank God for that.
Yeah.
Miss Pays, a student of Miami Beach, who was a senior, was last seen wearing a black T-shirt and some camouflage pants and some black boots. You know, what's interesting about this whole thing is this 18-year-old student, not even old enough to be alive when the Columbine shooting happened, right? Studied it, got infatuated, and then now the news articles want to call it a pilgrimage to Denver, Colorado, to commit a terrible act like shooting unarmed, innocent children. There's just too many loopholes in this story for me to even consider that the facts alone are just what we could find in base value. Because now the news is already saying that she has mental issues, and they also publicly released her Facebook page, so we're free to criticize and be skeptics about whatever she was doing or planning. I don't know. What do you
it's
think,
just, yeah, it's just there's always something more to the story than the mainstream reports. But you know, like I said, it's good that nobody got hurt or anything. But at the same time, it's sad that you know, a young woman died, even though she had intentions of hurting somebody. But I just hope they're telling the truth. You know, main thing, I hope they're telling the truth about what happened, because if I don't know whether she wanted attention or if she was just really serious about her being infatuated with the Columbine. There's a lot of things that happen on 420.
Yeah.
You know, it's Hitler's birthday. There's a lot of people's birthdays. It's time to smoke and have a good time and do whatever. But it's unfortunate that even one life was lost.
Yeah.
You know.
And I just have to say too that you know, why is it when a minority commits a crime, something like a mass shooting or a robbery or anything of that sort, it gets put in a category? Like if it's a Muslim, it's ISIS related or Taliban related. If it's a Hispanic or a black, it's gang related. But every time that it's a Caucasian, the news always reports that there's something mentally wrong with them.
Yeah, there's a lot of types that go around, and you know, I don't have to tell you, you know, like you said, you know, but if it's Asian, oh, we're making a movie.
Yeah.
You know, you know,
yeah,
it's all, it's always something. But either way, it's unfortunate. A life was lost. But this is the New York Times saying this, reporting this.
Yeah.
But
and the sad part is you'll get 20 different articles from all different sources saying their side of what the story is. But that's the reason for us doing this. And so that you guys can get the factual information from people who have you know, other resources to tap into to find these stories out for you from an unjaded and unmanipulated source, which is us.
yeah.
Also, there was another article that was out about some facial hair being unhealthy for you. I thought that was funny. we were going to talk about that, but this is really extremely important for everybody, because it wasn't even just public schools that were on lockout. There was even private schools, you know. And she didn't threaten any specific one of these. And if she was really concerned about trying to do something like that, she would have probably done it at Columbine itself. You know, if she's going to make that extra trip all the way out here and, you know, be infatuated with this and be involved in that whole kind of story about what it was, why would she threaten any other school? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
In further news, Carl's Jr. is to debut a CBD-infused burger on 420.
They're calling it the Rocky Mountain High Cheese Burger Delight with CBD infused Santa Fe sauce. I guess it's only at one Denver location.
Wow.
I'm not sure where exactly, but it sounds interesting, and it's going for $4.20.
That's amazing. So for people who are not familiar with CBDs, it's not just THC. It's a chemical compound that's in THC that's used like aspirin. It's more of a pain reliever than it is for a Juvia's kind of high and shit like you normally get when you're smoking some good ass weed.
Yes.
So the restaurant's gonna do it just for that day, I guess, on April 20th. The day many marijuana enthusiasts celebrate cannabis and cannabis culture, or they just like to hang out downtown and get high.
Yeah, they're saying it's something that feels right for the brand. I guess one of the representatives, she told CNN Business, "We are all about innovation."
That's pretty cool. CBD, like I was saying, it derives from hemp. It's a strand of cannabis with an extremely low level of THC. The chemical that produces the high, right, was legalized under the 2018 Farm Bill through the FDA. Still, technically prohibits the introduction of CBD or THC into food in the international states of commerce. The agency is reviewing the rules of CBD to announce earlier this year. Nevertheless, it's going to be pretty interesting to taste something like that. Honestly, I think they should sell that shit year round.
Yeah, they
24/7.
Yep, there you go.
they're doing it on this one day, on 420 apparently, because Carl's Jr.'s decided to test in just one location on one day. It was able to bring a product to consumers very quickly. The chain partnered with Bluebird Botanicals, Botanicals, a Colorado-based company that sells CBD oil in capsules for test. And I still haven't found the location exactly where they're going to have it, but I'm sure they did that for a reason.
And it's going to be interesting because really there's not a whole lot of Carl's Jr.'s in the Denver area anyway. I know of one in Lakewood, in between Lakewood and Denver on Wadsworth and Alameda, but that's pretty much the only one I know that's located anywhere near my ass.
There's one on Colfax by Auraria campus. I don't know if that one's still there actually. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. Wonder if it's going to make you more hungry after you eat it.
So you'll probably end up spending at least $8, because you'd be like getting the munchies and then you're like, damn.
Yeah, you'll leave and then you'll be hungry again, so you'll probably turn right back around and go eat.
French fries, milkshake.
Yeah, shit.
I can only imagine
That's a good selling point, though.
how packed it's going to be that day.
I know. And I wonder how many they actually ordered. If they're only ordering it for that one day, how quick that's going to go out of stock before the day's up. That's kind of crazy. People after they're mobbing around downtown, the last thing they're going to be doing is like, oh man, I'm just going to go home and cook. They ain't fucking do that.
So I suggest if you really want to go try it, because the busiest time is at lunch at 12.
Yeah.
But I suggest if you really want to try it, probably go in the morning. I'm not sure what time they're going to be serving it. About from 6 to about 11 o'clock, and maybe from 3 o'clock to 9. It's probably if you don't want to hit the crowds. But shit, I'm probably going to try it. $4.20 on 420. Shit.
Hell yeah. And screw the crowd, man. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of other stuff to do on 420 than sit in a packed ass area where you actually can't even bring in weed. You have to buy it from the stands and from the distributors. That's pretty shitty. Because people all over them be like, man, I just want to stand there and get high and shit. And nobody wants to buy from those stands because it costs even twice as much as it will if you go to the dispensaries. That's crazy. Hell yeah, it's crazy, right?
So I guess it's about all the time we got for Quarantine Minds news. So until next time, I'm Trusic of Soda Records.
I'm Maddog, and either have a good day or go fuck yourself.
Exactly. Signing off.